I ain't do Treehouse though. I ain't do Treehouse, you know what I'm saying? But what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man. AKA Mr. Take It Easy. For you end our life easy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram, Twitch in the description down below. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. We got 4 horrifying true Treehouse stories, you know what I'm saying? Nigga said rookie behind bars. I am good, my brother. I don't feel like watching nothing prison related right now. I told you I am not in the prison mood. You know what I mean? I am in a scary mood, my nigga. It depends on the mood that I'm in, my nigga. So, you know, it is what it is. You feel me? But you feel me? 4 horrifying true horror stories, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to go look at any other if y'all want to go look at any one of my, and we probably end the stream a little bit early, I ain't gonna lie to you, because like I said, my Lakers finna come on, bro, so it's 9:12, bro, so we honestly will not be able to go to 3 hours, you feel me? Gotta watch my Lake show, you know what I'm saying? We're going against the Mavericks tonight, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean, this is gonna be the last video right here, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, my other scary reactions, you feel me? If you want to go watch all my scary reactions, bro, it's in the scary reaction playlist section, man. You know what I'm saying? The same as true crime playlist section and all type of other playlist sections, you know what I'm saying?
Before getting into today's stories, I'd like to take a moment to thank this video's sponsor.
Hold on, my thunder. Okay, my thunder, hold on. Thunder time. All right, man.
Before getting into today's stories, I'd like to take a moment to thank this video's sponsor, Pi.org. If you're anything like
all right, no sponsors, man. No sponsors, man. You know, even Mr. Nightmare doing sponsors, that's crazy. Never thought my nigga Mr. Nightmare would be doing sponsors.
When I was a kid, around 9 or 10, my dad got a really high-paying job that forced us to move from middle-of-nowhere Pennsylvania to Brookmont, Maryland. I say forced, but that's probably not the best way to describe what happened. In reality, my parents were thrilled to make the move. It was a decision they barely thought about. In the span of about a month, we went from this tiny, rundown house in a relatively low-income area to a massive property in one of Maryland's nicest suburbs. You might be wondering how I felt about the whole thing. At that age, I was a pretty antisocial kid and mostly kept to myself. So it's not like I was leaving any lifelong friends behind. I didn't really have any to begin with. Years later, my parents would tell me that the prospect of giving me a fresh start was one of the reasons they were so willing to uproot our entire lives. But that's neither here nor there. The move didn't bother me much, and I was able to adjust pretty quickly. It's not like adjusting was very difficult given the circumstances though. Like I said, the house was huge, and even my 10-year-old self could pick up on the fact that we wouldn't be struggling to make ends meet anymore. I'm not going to bore you about the pointless details about the inside of the house. I'll only tell you what you need to know. I had 2 older brothers, Sean and Harold. The backyard was easily our favorite part. It had a big plot of twisting hedges that made for perfect games of hide and seek, tag, or whatever else we came up with.
I never like
the best feature by
Treehouse. That's crazy. Having a treehouse, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Like having another house. I'll be in that treehouse all the time, bro. If I was little, I ain't gonna cap. If I was little, bro, we had a house that had a treehouse, bro. I'd be in that treehouse more than I'd be inside the house, man. Now I'm having problems in the inside the house, man. I'm finna head to the treehouse. Look at this treehouse, man. That's good, bro, to be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got a little kid, bro, being by, you know, you're in the backyard, the treehouse, man. Come on, that's the spot.
Was the treehouse at the right edge of the property. Each house on the block was separated by a decently large cluster of tall trees, and the treehouse was situated directly within that patch. I say treehouse, but it was more like a tree castle. It wasn't your dad's run-of-the-mill weekend project. It was massive, spanning 6 or 7 adjacent trees.
Hey, nigga, how much money I got?
3 different levels and an actual staircase built into it. Those flimsy planks you're probably used to seeing. It was obvious a professional had built it. For a while, my brothers and I played in the treehouse every day. It was always the highlight of our day. But eventually, my brothers got bored of the treehouse. They were older and in that awful teenage phase where nothing was cool anymore. Eventually, I was the only one who played up there.
I never been that type. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like ever since, like even when I was a teenager, I mean, of course I ain't playing no freaking I mean, yeah, Treehouse, you know what I'm saying? I ain't playing on Treehouse, but I still, you know what I mean, was, you know, you gotta realize, man, yeah, we grow up, bro, but still that same little boy in me, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I mean, that same little kid, bro, that's still inside me, bro. I got a piece of him still inside me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you feel me? So I get excited when, you know what I mean, niggas see some little kid shows, you know what I mean, this and the third, you feel me? Like, a nigga get excited, bro. I mean, the things I used to get excited for as a kid, niggas still get excited for them things, man. No cap, bro. I mean, that little boy, that little girl that's inside, that little boy, that little girl, man, he or she is still inside you, man. You know what I mean? I feel like it's cool to have that little kid, you know what I'm saying? And you sometimes, you feel me, like straight up, bro. You can't forget that little boy, that little girl.
Which kind of sucked. I was really torn up about basically being abandoned up there, but my brothers refused to come back no matter what I said. One day, I climbed up into the treehouse and found a folded piece of paper sitting in the corner. To this day, I still remember the exact words written on that first note. It said, "Hello, I'm the Marshmallow Man. It's nice to meet you. What's your name?" I was the happiest kid alive. I assumed it was one of my brothers playing a game with me, so I played along, hoping to re-interest them in the treehouse.
Holy crap.
There was a stack of paper in the treehouse that hadn't been there before.
It's a little girl, you know what I'm saying? This is a little, you know what I'm saying? She little, so she knows she not knowing any better, so this wasn't there before. So the whole time she's being stalked. You know what I mean? She's being stalked by a man. It's a man that's watching her. A man that's seeing that she's going in the treehouse every day. So you got a sick man that's doing this right here. You know what I mean? Probably even watching her now.
Treehouse. There was a stack of paper in the treehouse that hadn't been there before, so I eagerly picked up one of the markers we had in there and wrote back, leaving a little note with my name. I placed it where I had found the first one, excited to play this new game. That night, I wanted to ask my brothers which of them was the Marshmallow Man, but I was afraid they'd stop playing if I said anything, so I kept quiet. For the next few days, I'd come home from school and run straight to the treehouse. Each time, there'd be another note waiting for me. At first, the notes were innocent and sounded exactly like stuff my brothers would say. I was having a lot of fun with it, but as the days went on, the notes got stranger. The Marshmallow Man started asking me increasingly personal questions that I didn't fully understand. Things that didn't make sense for my brothers to ask, like, what's your favorite time of day to play outside? Or what do you usually eat for breakfast? I don't remember every question he asked, but one of them that will always stick with me was, which window in the house is your bedroom? I look back at that exact question and literally feel sick to my stomach. At the time, I still didn't think too much of it. I assumed it was still one of my brothers.
Come on,
so
man.
I answered every question without hesitation. But the next note was so unsettling that I couldn't keep quiet anymore. It was something like, "What do your pajamas smell like?" or something nasty along those lines. I stormed inside and confronted my brothers, demanding to know which of them was behind the notes. They both started laughing at me and denied it. Both of them swore there was no such thing as the Marshmallow Man and started making fun of me for still playing make-believe.
Straight up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Sister with a K. You're talking about a marshmallow, man. Whole time, them folks chilling the whole time as a sick little man looking at this girl, man. Sick little man, just stalking her. Looking at her the whole time, and she don't even know it. She think it's her brothers playing the game, but the whole time it's this nigga that's just stalking her the whole time. You feel me? And then guess what? When she go back in the crib, he sneak back into the backyard, go up the treehouse and write some more notes.
I started crying and ran out of the room. I remember being a mixture of sad and angry. I knew one of them had to be lying. Instead of going to my parents, I hatched a plan to catch them in the act. I was not prepared for what was about to happen. That night, as I lay in bed, I heard tapping at my window. I froze, feeling my heart start to beat out of my chest. I was already scared of the dark to begin with, so the tapping added a layer of fear that I couldn't deal with. I sat there in the dark for what felt like hours, too scared to move. Eventually, I forced myself to sleep. The next morning, I pulled back the window curtains and almost screamed. Taped to the outside of my window were dozens of marshmallows. It had to be my brothers. I was so angry. This wasn't funny anymore.
That's your brothers,
man. I catch them
man.
red-handed the next night. I pretended like I hadn't noticed the marshmallows and didn't say a thing to either of them all day.
Nigga ain't finna go that far. You think I'm finna ask my sister what her pajamas smell like? You think I'm finna ask my sister what room she's staying in? Come on, girl. But she little, she ain't understanding. This girl's still little, bro, so she still think her brother's playing. But come on, man. Think your brother's finna ask you that type of question? You think they finna do this? You know, we gonna play, but to an extent, man.
I was ready. When the tapping started again, I jumped out of bed and yanked the curtains open, ready to yell at them.
Right in front of that man.
But it wasn't my brothers. On the other side of the glass was a man.
Oh,
disgusting man with yellow eyes and what looked like rotting teeth.
Holy crap!
He had patchy hair on his head and smiled
freak,
at me
my
when he
nigga.
noticed me looking. I don't think I've ever screamed louder in my life. I felt like I was gonna die in that moment. My parents came running, but by the time they got to my room, the man was gone. It was a huge thing. The police searched the property, combing through every inch of the yard and treehouse, but they didn't find anything. They even checked the surrounding area, but that man was never found. Some of our neighbors came outside to see what was going on and reacted in horror when my parents filled them in. I told the police and my parents everything I knew, but there wasn't much I could even say. They took the notes in as evidence, but I doubt they really did anything with them. That man never came back. My parents told me to never play in the treehouse again.
Yeah, that's that treehouse.
I wanted to after that incident anyway. I moved out of that house a while ago, but my parents still live there, and I always take an extra long look at the treehouse whenever I'm back. This remains one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me.
Heck yeah, these headphones loud. I think I'll be freaking lying, bro. Headphones loud than a mother freaking, nigga.
This memory has been on my mind a lot lately. My youngest son, Luke, just went off to college.
Imagine being a little kid and experiencing that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that had to be a real, you know what I'm saying? Like scary encounter, boy. You know what I'm saying? Straight up being a little kid, bro, experiencing that, boy.
Well, I'm proud of him. The house feels quieter than it ever has before. Too quiet, if I'm being honest. It's funny, when the kids are young, you dream of peace and quiet. But when it finally comes, it's not as comforting as you thought it would be. I don't know why, but his going away unlocked a part of my brain that honestly forgot about what I'm about to tell you. People have told my wife and I that it's normal to be thinking a little extra about memories from my kid's childhood at a time like this, so I guess it's not too surprising. I still remember when he was just a little kid, full of energy and curiosity, always getting into something. There's one memory I have of that time that is definitely not all sunshine and rainbows, though. Luke was 8 years old when this happened. Even now, I can't fully make sense of it. I'm a carpenter by trade, so I'm pretty good with my hands. Always have been. I will admit that I was much more lively back then, willing to undertake all sorts of makeshift projects and such. One of my favorite projects was the treehouse I built for Luke in the backyard, which is still standing to this day. It wasn't just a simple platform nailed to a tree. I poured my heart into it. Walls, a roof, proper wooden steps leading up to the entrance. It was sturdy too. I wanted it to feel like an extension of our house to him.
Dang, boy, you built that?
I succeeded in that regard.
Was a good dad, boy.
My wife Christy wasn't thrilled about it at first. She worried it was too high off the ground and unsafe. But Luke was the kind of kid who was always climbing trees anyway, and I figured it would be safer to give him a proper ladder rather than let him scramble up branches that could snap.
I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't building my child no freaking treehouse, nigga. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You feel me? But heck yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
Christy eventually came around.
It's a good dad right there, man. That dad built his son, 8-year-old son, a treehouse. Cause I never do that. I'm gonna be a good dad for sure. I'm gonna do things for my son. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do things for my kids. But building a treehouse like that? Oh heck no.
Luke absolutely loved it.
That's a good father.
I'll probably tell you a little bit about our property so that the story makes more sense. Our house was at the very end of a dead-end street in a relatively woodsy area. The backyard actually bordered the woods, which was part of why Christy and I fell in love with the house in the first place. It was private and peaceful, and we're kind of people that like keeping to ourselves. I still laugh when I think about all the times friends and family members have gotten lost trying to find our house. The yard wasn't huge, but I could clearly see the treehouse from our bedroom window, which was one of the deciding factors when I was determining where to build it. I wanted to be able to keep an eye on it should Luke hurt himself or something like that. I couldn't actually see inside of it because of the walls, but I had a perfect view of the steps leading up to it. From what I remember, everything was relatively normal for a pretty long time. Luke spent what I considered a normal amount of time playing in the treehouse. His older brother had kind of outgrown that phase, so Luke mostly played by himself in there. I can't remember exactly when, but at one point he started talking about an imaginary friend named Jake. We knew he was an imaginary friend because no one in the neighborhood had a child named Jake.
You go with this imaginary friend-ish, boy. I'm saying, I'm trying to tell y'all, but my son better not come around me talking about no imaginary friend, bro. Telling you, gang. All that imaginary friend named Jake. Get the heck out of my house talking about you some imaginary friend named Jake. That junk serious to me, bro. Don't take that junk lightly, bro. You know what I'm saying? All this Jake and all this.
It wasn't unusual for kids to have imaginary friends.
Yeah, no.
I was 8.
Yeah, no.
Not exactly the age where you'd still expect that sort of thing. Christy thought it was cute and innocent, but I was a little more skeptical. It seemed odd to me since Luke hadn't been the type of kid to make imaginary friends.
Innocent about that.
Regardless, I didn't think much of it because he was only 8 years old. It started to get a little more...
Look at the spot, though. You feel me? Look at this spot, man. That nigga built a treehouse like this right here. Got the roofs and everything. You know, you got the dresser over there. Then you got the couch right here. You feel me? Golly, your boy in the spot where it's breezy. You know what I'm saying? Nigga in the spot. This is a nice spot right here. No kiss out, bro. Dang, this is a nice spot. You feel me? Straight up, man. This is a nice spot. Then you got the trees back there on the deck or something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, that's a nice spot in here, man. Y'all need to come check it out or something. Check it out.
Concerning when Christy and I realized that Luke was starting to spend more and more time up there. What struck me as strange was that he wasn't bringing toys up there. As far as I could tell, he only had his imagination to play with. It's not like he had a game console or anything to keep him entertained. And I had been very clear about not carrying anything up there alone, as it was dangerous and I didn't want him to fall. At one point, my curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to ask him about it. Luke acted extremely weird when I asked him about his friend, and said that Jake was shy and didn't like being talked about.
What the freak is Jake?
I asked him why he was spending so much time up there. He told me that Jake only liked to play in the treehouse, and that he didn't like coming inside. I honestly didn't know what to say. It seemed like a pretty bizarre condition. Were an imaginary friend supposed to be available wherever and whenever you needed them? I did some research later that day and found out that some kids only play with their imaginary friends in certain rooms of their house. So as weird as it was,
it's a demon, bro. That is a demon. Ain't no freaking, what you think? That's a demon. That is a demon messing with your little kid, man. That demon, that's a demon, man. Imaginary friend, that is a demon, man. You know what I'm saying? Imaginary friend named Jake. It's a little demon boy.
Christy was pretty uneasy though.
He said kid must have died there. I mean, how did the kid die there? The nigga built the treehouse. This nigga built the treehouse. This treehouse didn't come with the house. This nigga didn't build the treehouse. So who the freak is Jake?
She thought Luke was taking this imaginary friend thing too far, and I honestly agreed. We weren't helicopter parents though. When it came to our kids, we let them spend their free time however they wanted to, as long as they were doing well in school and completing their chores. Most weekends, we'd let Luke play with the neighborhood kids until the sun went down.
Oh, it is.
They'd ride bikes, play tag, and usual stuff. They were all good kids, and we trusted Luke to behave himself and stay out of trouble. He wasn't the type of kid to pick on other kids or get into fights, which was why I was especially concerned when Luke came home one Saturday with a black eye.
The freak.
I cleaned him up and asked him what happened.
Beating heck out of kids.
He looked down at the floor and didn't say anything, but I insisted that he tell me what happened, and I wouldn't be mad at him. What he said next made me shiver. He looked up at me and told me that he had gotten into a fight with Jake. I had to process whose kid Jake was.
Who the freak is Jake? If I kill that nigga!
His imaginary friend. I told him not to lie to me and that he wasn't being funny. Instead of fessing up, Luke just started crying and ran to his room. Christy was convinced he'd gotten into a fight with one of the neighborhood kids and didn't want to admit it.
I'm gonna look for
Jake. I agreed with that. She wanted me to take down the treehouse right then and there, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. That treehouse had taken weeks of hard work, and the thought of tearing it down didn't sit right with me. I told her that I'd talk with Luke and tell him that he was taking things way too far. Luke refused to come out of his room or talk to me for the rest of the day, so getting something out of him wasn't going to happen. The next day, I decided to investigate. When I climbed up into the treehouse, what I saw made my stomach churn. Scattered around were children's socks and sneakers, all dirty and tattered. I knew for a fact that none of them belonged to Luke. I also knew for a fact that they weren't my older son's either. We had donated all of his old shoes a long time ago.
The freak is Jake?
That's not all that was up there. There were also food wrappers, bags, utensils, even a couple of dirty plates. Weirdest of all, there were pencil drawings of wild animals on all the walls. There was a fox, a bear,
holy crap.
some deer.
That's how you know that nigga ain't right. That's how you know that little kid ain't right, man. That little kid is a freaking... Look at this little kid, the way this little nigga Jake right, man. Look at what this little nigga Jake drawing, man. Oh yeah, this little nigga ain't right. This little nigga drawing is fantastic. Yeah, that little nigga definitely ain't right. That nigga drawing what that is. A velociraptor, a hawk. The freak is this? What type of animal this is, man? Ain't never seen these type of animals in my life. What the freak is this? Look like some non-existent type ish, man. They could probably been to hell or something, seen some hellish animals. What the freak is? You know, it look like straight velociraptors. No cap. I'm like, what the freak is this?
I don't remember all
them birds for sure. Them birds. What the freak is this?
Them, but I do remember that they were all animals. The one that stood out to me the most was what appeared to be a gigantic spider with a face that was just completely...
Hey man, I know I wasn't tripping. Y'all can't see it right here, man. It's right here below me, bro. I was looking at that freaking what's the name, bro. What the freak is that junk, bro?
Sold over. It was just downright freaky. I immediately climbed down and asked Luke about the treehouse. He told me that Jake only liked to talk on a full stomach, so he had to bring him food and other snacks. He then told me that the shoes and socks were also Jake's, and that Jake was pretty forgetful in general.
But it slapped the taste out of my son's mouth. I said who the freak Jake is. Boy, don't let me ask you again before I tear that treehouse down.
That was it. From that moment on, I forbade Luke from going into the treehouse. I knew he was still lying to me, and I wanted to punish him until he admitted to it. I was 100% sure that Luke had found those things around the neighborhood and was making up stories to cover it up.
Punish that nigga!
Christy was worried about Luke's mental health, and I was too. We thought about consulting a professional should things continue. But one evening, I saw something that changed everything. I was looking out the bedroom window when I spotted movement near the treehouse. At first, I was livid that Luke was disobeying me, but then I realized what I was looking at. A sickly, frail-looking child was climbing down the treehouse steps. It wasn't Luke. He didn't look like any of the kids from the neighborhood either. His clothes were dirty, and he moved like he hadn't eaten in days. I ran outside, yelling for that kid to stop. As soon as I opened the back door, the boy darted into the woods. I chased after him, but he was freakishly fast. Within seconds, he disappeared into the trees. Christy called every parent in the neighborhood.
I guess Jake was real.
Were accounted for. We called the police, who searched the woods thoroughly for over an hour but found nothing. No missing children had been reported in the area either. The whole thing was beyond explanation.
I think the nigga was a spirit or something? Like a spirit little nigga?
With my consent, the police questioned my son.
He talking about that was a fast little nigga, like a little spirit fast little nigga. Talking about that was a fast little nigga.
That kid. And what he told them was horrifying. Apparently, Jake claimed to be a magic boy who lived in the woods with his other friends. His friends were supposedly all animals, as he called them bear, fox, and names like that. Every time Jake would come to visit my son, he'd beg him to leave his family behind and join him in the woods with the rest of his friends. He'd then get mad when Luke would refuse and make these strange noises. I don't know why Luke never told me any of it, and there was a part of me that felt responsible for putting him in danger like that. The police conducted a full search of the woods, but never found a thing.
Never found nothing?
We never saw Jake again after that. Christy has always been incredibly superstitious and theorized that Jake wasn't real. I don't believe in stuff like that.
I'm saying, bro, she talks about it
always gives me an unsettling feeling. I honestly don't know which explanation
Jake
is
was
freakier.
I think Jake was
the fact
a demon.
that some paranormal entity was interacting with my son, or the thought that there might be woods folk lurking around somewhere in the forest behind
no way,
my house.
bro. They ain't find that nigga. They ain't find that nigga. And then you said that nigga was fast as lightning.
This happened a few weeks ago.
My nigga scared is you, but I know I got some niggas terrified up in here. I got some niggas terrified. You know what I'm saying? I know, man. That's why I say when I be reacting to scary videos, bro, I be getting views. I get views, but it don't be like the other ones. Niggas be scared for real. Trying to tell you, bro, I be scaring them freak out niggas. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Just like, bro, I'm like, what the freak, bro? I ain't gonna lie. I'm telling you, bro, I see you right now watching me on TV, right? Watching me on TV. Bro, it's something in your right now. It's something in your freaking room. How the freak did I know you was watching me on TV? Bro, freaking Jake, bro. Jake's in your freaking room, bro. What the freak, Jake?
Still fresh in my mind. I live in a quiet suburb in Delaware, but I'm a sophomore in college out in California. This happened during fall break in October, when I was back home for a few days. I come
nope, on my phone. Oh my god, you still scared? That nigga scared. Watch me on your phone, bro? But I bet you're in the dark. I bet there's no lights on right now. You're in your bed, watch me on your phone. In the corner, there goes Jake.
Every chance I can, which honestly always feels bittersweet. I love seeing my parents, but they're really traditional, which can be suffocating. One of the things that drives me crazy is how about weed. Even though it's recently been legalized.
What you say about weed? Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, boy. I had to stop smoking weed. Why I knew I had to stop smoking weed? I'm talking about y'all. I was freaking, I don't know, man. That type of high, it was weird, bro. It was a type of freaking high, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It was a type of freaking high, man. I couldn't explain, bro. The last time I hit a blunt, I remember the last time I hit it, I don't know, it was some weird high junk, bro. No, so I ain't like that high, bro. No, like, I don't know, bro. I think it's my time to stop smoking. I think that's when God telling me to stop smoking. You feel me? I told y'all, you know what I'm saying, man? I told that story plenty of times. Saying I never had that feeling before. It's like a paranormal feeling, but it's like I don't know, it's like I was being watched or something. It was weird. It ain't feel good. And it was a weed. It was weed. It wasn't like them edibles. You know what I mean? When I ate them edibles, you know what I'm saying? And my whole body was on like freaking 10. And I was hearing a deep voice laughing at me. Y'all heard that story. It wasn't like that. I smoked a regular blunt. And it just felt like that edible feeling, bro. I was trying to shake it off, bro. And it just felt like I don't know, I feel like I was being in another freaking universe, man.
What drives me crazy is how uptight they are about weed. Even though it's recently been legalized.
Something about this weed, y'all. I be trying to tell people something about this freaking weed, man. Something about this weed now, man. The first time I started smoking, and that's me, bro. Me just, like me, I don't smoke, no, I ain't smoked in like a year. I ain't gonna count. I don't plan on smoking ever again. But when I was smoking, bro, I was a freaking, you know, professional smoker, bro. I was smoking ever since 9th grade, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I was smoking a lot. 3 5s in a day, 2 blunts in a day, 3 blunts sometimes on a good day. So I'm like that. I say if I was saying it, if I was like this weed making me feel some type of way, nigga, this weed making a nigga feel some type of way, nigga. You know what I'm saying? All these different type of strains. I ain't gonna lie, man. I never smoked weed a day in my life, bro. I ain't gonna cap to you. You smoke weed, bro, you gotta start smoking weed. The way I feel, bro, off of stop smoking, like when I start smoking weed is way more better. You know what I'm saying? Way much better, bro. I can tell a difference for sure, but that weed is something in that weed, man. That weed ain't normal, bro.
Here, they'd lose their minds if they knew I smoked. They've never really gotten used to the idea that I'm an adult now. I can't really understand their position on the whole thing, but at the end of the day, they are my parents, and I would never disrespect them, especially while I'm under their roof. Whenever I'm home, I have to sneak around to avoid getting caught. I hate to admit it, but sneaking around my parents is a skill I've mastered over the years. I can't even count the number of times I've snuck out of the house late at night, let alone all the other mischievous shit I used to do. My dad has the nose of a bloodhound, so smoking inside isn't an option. Thankfully, my old treehouse is still standing in the front yard. My parents built it for me when I was a kid, and even though it's weathered and creaky in some spots, it's held up surprisingly well. It's high enough in the trees that it's basically hidden from view, especially from the house.
Told that edible story too many times, bro. Told it too many times, man. I know people get tired of me telling that story.
From up there.
But that was a real story. It wasn't like nothing that was played with. It's a real freaking story, bro. That's why I know it's something on the other side. I know. I had too many encounters, bro. I'm talking, I had too many freaking weird encounters. You tell me there's nothing on this other side. You telling me this is it? Heck no. You know what I'm saying? That nigga's laughing at me. That's all I'm gonna say. If you ain't heard that edible story, had a nigga laughing at me, bro. Looking around, bro. I don't know who the freak laughing at me. I know who the freak was laughing at me. Like I was being taunted, bro. True story. Like I was going to die. Like Satan was welcoming me to hell or something. That's the type of laugh that I was given. You can laugh and all that, but that's the laugh that I was given. It's like I was finna die. Not supposed to eat 4 edibles. Not supposed to eat that many edibles, bro. I thought I wasn't feeling it at first. So I was like, an hour going by, I'm not feeling this junk, bro. I'm mad. I'm like, nigga, you feel me? Nigga done sold me some cookies. Nigga done got off on me. You know what I mean? Nigga sold me edibles. An hour go by, I'm not even geek. 2 hours go by, nigga, I'm not geek. I'm finna eat another cookie, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ate another one, then just out of nowhere, poof. Like a nigga just, I'm talking about like a nigga just freaking entered a freaking portal, nigga. I'm talking about listening to music just, poof. Nigga, when I mean that junk hit me out of nowhere, nigga. Hit me out of nowhere. I'm talking about like I was in a different dimension, nigga. That quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, I feel like certain type of freaking stuff, bro, give you just access to the, you see how them folks be on that other type of drugs. You be seeing people just standing still, looking crazy in the middle of the street. You be seeing people be acting crazy when they be on drugs, bro. That junk be real, and that was edibles a nigga felt like. Imagine what these niggas be freaking seeing. Nigga be seeing all type of stuff. Man, nigga, it felt like somebody, nigga, I felt like I was finna die. It's like, nigga, I'm dead, nigga. I'm dead. That's how I was thinking. I'm dead. I'm gone. I'm not finna check out. It's like, nigga, Satan was welcoming me to hell or something. It's like, nigga, taunting me like, nigga, I got you, nigga. I'm dead serious. That's how scared I was, bro. Like, nigga, I was finna die, nigga. Like nigga, it's it, nigga. Like, my heart was beating fast. Like, dang, I'm done, nigga. I'm going outside trying to chill it down. Shoot, nigga, I still hear a nigga just laughing at me. I'm like, dang, this nigga got me. I'm gone, bro. Telling you, bro, it's like a freaking deep laugh, like ha 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 ha. It was that constantly, nigga, in my ear, freaking out, nigga. I ain't finna lie to you, nigga. I'm in here panicking, nigga. You feel me? Straight up, true story. I'm in the thing panicking, bro. I'm thinking, nigga, it's over, nigga. Nah, he got me, bro. He tricked me out my.
I can see everything. The yard, the street.
I thought it was OV for me, bro.
But no one can see me.
I tell that story all the time because that's one of the most. You know how you tell a story all the time. That's the most terrifying experience I ever experienced in my life. That's why I tell that story. I remember that junk like it was yesterday, bro. That's the most terrifying. When you want to say terrifying, nigga, that was the most terrifying experience, nigga, in my freaking life. Like, for real. That's why I tell it so much, nigga. Nigga, I get scared thinking about that junk, nigga. Junk was terrifying, bro. I couldn't believe what the freak I was hearing. I couldn't believe it, bro. Like, nigga, am I hearing what the freak I'm hearing? Like, am I actually hearing this? I was like, oh, heck no. I was freaking the freak out, bro. It was a laugh I couldn't explain. It didn't sound normal. It just sounded like I was being taunted, nigga. It sounded like I was being taunted. Like a taunting laugh, bro. It wasn't no regular laugh, like being taunted. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I was freaking the freak out, bro. I ain't tried edible now after that ever since. I ain't gonna lie.
Exactly where to look. When I was younger, that treehouse was the place I went when I needed to escape.
So yeah, for all that getting high and all that.
As a child was relatively awesome.
Shoot.
It's honestly kind of hard to talk about with all the old memories flooding back, but I'll get to the point. On the Saturday before I was supposed to fly back to school, my parents were out at some banquet or something that was going to run late into the evening. I knew they wouldn't be home for hours, but I didn't know exactly when they'd be returning. I didn't want to risk getting caught in the backyard, so I climbed up into the treehouse with my stash just to be safe. It was chilly out, and I could see my own breath in the air. I have this theory that cold weather induces more nostalgia, but that might just be me. It was quiet and peaceful up there, and it was nice being the only one around. I've always liked being up high too, so that definitely added to the experience. I watched the sunset as I thought about school, excited to go back. By the time I finished, it was mostly dark outside, meaning I had timed things just right. That's when I noticed it. As I was panning my eyes across the yard, a light turned on in the house. I froze, knowing I was the only one home.
He greening out. He greening.
A light turned on in the house. I froze, knowing I was the only one home. My heart started racing as I stared at the window, feeling that instinctual sense of fear that only arises from true danger. My field of vision began closing in around that single source of light, as if it were drawing me in. A few moments later, movement in the backyard snapped me out of my disassociative state. 3 hooded figures were circling the property, clearly trying to move quickly. My stomach dropped as I realized what was happening.
Oh, nigga, be robbed.
I watched as the 3 figures moved to the front steps. That's when a 4th figure opened the door and let them in. My chest tightened as it hit me. My house was being robbed. I didn't know what to do, but I couldn't look away. Part of me was still frozen, and another part of me was still trying to convince myself that what I was seeing was real. That's the best way I can explain what I was feeling in that moment. One of the figures stayed outside, pacing the yard. I think some subconscious part of me clicked, because I looked down and my phone was in my hand, open to the keypad on my phone app. Without thinking, I dialed 911 and whispered into the phone, trying to stay as quiet as possible. I told the operator what was happening and hung up. But as I was putting my phone away, the light from the screen must have caught the guy's eye, because he whipped his head to look up into the trees. I ducked, but I was worried he had seen me. Not 3 seconds later, I got my answer. I heard a voice yell out, "Hey," clearly directed at me. I peeked around one of the wooden floor pieces and saw a dark figure walking towards the base of the tree. He knew where I was. I was sure of it. He got to the base of the tree and started climbing the wooden planks that led up to the treehouse. I screamed that police were on their way, hoping to scare him off, but he didn't stop. He just kept climbing, his hands gripping the planks like he was determined to get to me. Without thinking, I grabbed my bong, the only thing within reach, and threw it as hard as I could. It hit him in the head and shattered into a million pieces, and he let out a loud curse before falling to the ground. He wasn't very high up, but it was enough to make him reconsider. Instead of climbing back up again, he ran back towards the house and shouted at the other guys who were still inside. The next thing I saw was all 4 of them running to my backyard, where they presumably entered and exited from. My heart was still beating like crazy. Not even 3 minutes later, the police arrived. I was shaking so badly as I climbed down from the treehouse that I thought I was going to fall. I tried to tell them what had happened, but my words were a mess. I told them that I hadn't seen a getaway car and that I didn't get a good look at any of their faces. My parents pulled in not long after that. They were really sympathetic about the whole thing, which I was grateful for. The police told us that the robbers must have known my parents would be out that night. It seemed like a planned job, but what they didn't plan for was me being there. I still don't know how to feel about it. I especially don't want to think about what would have happened had that guy gotten all the way up to the treehouse. I'm back at school now, but if I'm being honest, I haven't had a good night's sleep since this incident. I'm terrified those people might come back, and even more terrified that my parents are there all alone. I'm worried sick about their safety, and I just hope that's the last we ever hear of them. I hope I never have to give an update, but I will if God forbid something comes up.
We got another story? Say you swear to God.
When I was a kid, I had a very nightmarish experience at my childhood home. My family moved to this house when I was like 4, so I really don't remember anything of the house we lived in when I was born. We lived in what I call my childhood house from when I was 4 to when I was 14, so exactly 10 years. I loved that house. I have very good memories from growing up there. We moved out of state when I was just beginning high school, which was a nightmare in of itself, but that's nothing to do with this story. In the backyard of my childhood home was a treehouse. It was built by the previous owner for his kids. Believe it or not, when my parents—
That nigga said I was having a panic attack while hitting the pen. Better stop hitting them, I'm telling y'all. Stop smoking that weed, G. Better stop.
Viewed the house, a major selling point was the kid-friendly nature of the house and the backyard for my older brother and I. My brother Kyle is 2 years older than me, so he was 6 when they bought the house. and my brother and I apparently were very excited over the treehouse aspect in the backyard, according to my parents. My brother and I would play in the treehouse with friends we'd made over the years, but as the years passed, I would stop playing in the treehouse like that at a certain age. By the age of 12, I was obviously not playing in the treehouse anymore, but I was admittedly a troublemaker around this age, and I would often get in trouble with my parents. I'd get grounded often, and in general, I'd just throw a lot of temper tantrums, and there would be a lot of yelling in the house.
I don't even know what the freaking grounded is. Grounded. It was straight butt whoopings. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kids talking about grounded? Grounded. Nigga, my grounded was butt whoopings. That was my grounded. Straight paddles, straight switches, straight belts. You know what I'm saying? Nigga ain't get grounded, nigga. I got stuff taken away from me, but best believe, you know, before I got that stuff taken away from me, I got straight switches, straight belts, straight paddles. Nigga, I got 2 punishments. Know what I mean? Belt first, taking Xbox the next. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, then you can't go nowhere, nigga. And don't go outside either, nigga. You know what I'm saying? My parents ain't playboy. I feel like weed ain't for nobody. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like weed ain't for nobody. Cause even for me, bro, like, bro, me being like how I was smoking, like I was a smoker, bro. I've never had that type of experience smoking weed in my life. I don't know, bro. Just feel like weed ain't for everybody. I feel like this weed that they having, I think it's just the things they're putting in weed, bro. That's making, you know what I mean, weed like this now. Cause bro, I've been smoking, bro. I ain't never felt that way. I think all these type of strands, they putting all type of chemicals in this weed. Nigga, weed not supposed to be purple. Weed supposed to be green, bro. Weed is green. Weed don't have no different type of flavors, different type of strands. You know what I'm saying? These niggas putting chemicals in weed, bro. That's what's making a nigga tweak out. Weed is green. That plant that y'all talking about, it is green. It's not no purple. It's not no reddish. It's not none of that, bro. It's straight chemicals, bro. They killing niggas through weed. That's why I be trying to tell niggas. Weed is not freaking good, bro. Not good for you, bro. Now, if you smoking like the weed just green, weed, the way it smell, bro, it's not supposed to smell like that, bro. If you smoking green weed, growing your own weed and smoking it out, that's cool. That's good right there. You feel me? You smoking the way you smoking weed how it's supposed to be smoked. But you niggas are smoking all this freaking cat piss. You know what I'm saying? All this freaking banana peppers and all this different strands and all that. Nigga, you getting messed up. Different type of strands, but that's why you tweaking.
And my dad grounded me for a repeat complaint from my guidance counselor about my behavior and grades in school. And like an angsty, annoying preteen, I thought I hated my parents at that moment. That night, I refused to sleep in the house. I took a couple blankets and pillows and went outside to the treehouse.
See, that was, you know, you refused to sleep in the house. Know what I'm saying? That's what it's like I tell you got soft parents. You talking about you refuse to sleep in the house, bro? Nigga, I wish Mike would refuse. Refuse. Nigga. Y'all folks be funny. Y'all kids be funny, but talking about refuse. Nigga.
Sleep up there.
I think I'm gonna tell my parents I refuse to sleep in the house. I'm finna go sleep in the tree. Man.
It wasn't the first time I'd done this, and my parents would know about it
right.
when I'd do it. They didn't care. It was my little way of rebelling. Little did my dad know that I had my Nintendo DS with me, even though I wasn't allowed to play video games or watch TV. I played Animal Crossing for literally hours before getting tired and eventually going to sleep, but I think I was only asleep for a few moments. I don't think I even entered REM sleep yet when I woke up to a voice from outside calling my name. Tommy. Tommy. I was still confused as I was waking back up. It could have been my dad's voice. Tommy, are you up there? The voice said. All I remember is it being a deep, grown man's voice.
What?
I didn't reply. My heart started to race for some reason. I heard the steps of the ladder squeaking as someone was coming up. And then, in the near pitch black darkness, I saw someone poke their head through the opening in the floor.
Holy
crap. I couldn't see their face. I just saw the shadow of the outline of their head. He said, there you are. I replied, Dad? But this was where he stopped responding entirely. For about 20 seconds, I stared at this head that I presume was staring back at me. I was waiting for my eyes to readjust to the darkness, but something told me that that wasn't my dad. I stood up and went to the window of the treehouse and started screaming Dad as loud as I could. I saw the light in my parents' room turn on, and I also heard footsteps hurrying down the ladder to the treehouse. Moments later, my parents burst outside through the back door, and my dad swore to me that he wasn't out there playing a prank on me. My parents believed me. It wasn't like some stupid horror movie where the parents don't believe a word the kid says. My uncle was still an active cop at the time, and so my dad called him for advice, and my uncle made a report on the incident the next day. Not much information I could get.
How do you know your name?
I heard a deep man's voice and saw the outline of his head, and that he knew my name. Not much the police could work with. Obviously, I never spent a night in the treehouse again. My dad for a while thought it was one of the neighbors directly across from us, but he could never prove it. For years, whenever I'd see him outside and he'd say hi to me, I'd try to think back to the voice from that night, but I just couldn't remember it clearly enough to make a comparison. It still remains a very unsettling mystery in the back of my mind.
Damn, bro, you know what I'm saying? Talking about some freaking... I mean, nigga, how the freak you know the freaking nigga name? You know what I'm saying? But that is it, y'all. My Lakers coming on 9:57. I hope y'all enjoyed this stream. I try to give my scary audience, bro, you know what I'm saying, something to watch, bro, because they be on me, bro. They be on my head, bro. Jay Rick the scary reactions. Jay Rick. So I'm like, all right, bro, I got y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I had to give them, you know what I'm saying, some things to watch. I'm always doing sports. I'm always doing that. So I'm like, I'm just finna give these niggas a whole stream dedicated to them. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if y'all join late, you know what I'm saying, every video from this Twitch stream will be transferred to YouTube. You know what I mean? So y'all can look at every single video that I reacted to on Twitch on YouTube, man. It's your boy Jay. Finna go watch Lake Show. Put the belt on the barbecues, man. This your boy Jay. I'm out, man.